Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Backfire Simsport TV. Tonight we bring you round 4 of the V8 ESC Racetech Endurance Series from Mount Panorama, aka Bathurst. I'm Clyde Whiting, and in the booth with me tonight we have Mr. Pete Bingham. Good evening, Pete.
Evening, Clyde. Evening, everybody. Hope you enjoyed tonight's racing.
And on the bells and whistles, we have Mr. Sam Boozin. Good evening, Sam.
Yeah, good evening, Clyde. Good evening, everybody.
And we're hoping that Mr. Bill Switzer will be joining us at some point. So, Pete, back to the Endurance Championships. 2 hours around Bathurst. We know, you know anyway, how much this track can bite. Are you expecting to see some carnage tonight?
Well, hopefully not. The field that we've got showing is a very experienced field. There are a few places that bite you. They certainly bite me. Top of the mountain is always the one that gets me. Heading towards, is it Skyline? Yeah, that's the one that's just showing on the screen at the minute, funnily enough. And coming out of the last turn onto the straight, the start-finish straight, that seems to get a lot of people as the car unloads itself and you spear off onto the inside and hit the wall. But I'm hoping that we can get some accident-free racing, because when the racing's good at Bathurst, it's very exciting. It's quite a tight track, isn't it, Clyde? So you've got to wait for mistakes sometimes and make opportunities on the big straights.
Yeah, definitely. There tends to be hardly any overtaking opportunities without mistakes going up the mountain. But then once you start coming down and into the more traditional circuit part of the track, that's where your overtaking opportunities tend to get themselves going, and people sticking noses on insides of corners and things like that. And yeah, so it's not one of those tracks that you can't overtake on. It's just one of those tracks that you need to be patient to be able to get your overtake done. So we're just finishing up the practice session now and going into the 10-minute qualifying session. We got a fairly small grid tonight. The iRacing official Nürburgring 24-hour race is on, so I presume a number of our drivers are taking part in that. But as we've seen in the past, Pete, sometimes the smaller fields give you the more exciting racing.
Without a doubt, they don't tend to split as much, which is a strange thing to happen. Sam's put the championship standings after round 4, or at round 4, on the screen. So Rich Warmingham leads our field in terms of the league, 985 points. Steve LaValle follows him. Tony Kloosterman in 3rd. Marco Nemela in 4th. Greg Carr in 5th. Wayne Sanderson, a privateer, in 6th. Richard Alsop in 7th. Jamie Wilson in 8th. Ant Woodward in 9th, and Nikolai Bogatayev in 10th. So I think with tonight's talent group, obviously a lot of these guys have done a lot of laps around here. This is a magnet for V8 races. It's almost like not a holy grail, but it's somewhere that is very well respected in the V8 community. And it's such a big track with such a dynamic set of turns and straights that it's fantastic. But yes, the smaller grids have delivered us some of the best racing and some of the closest racing as well.
Yeah, and interested with you going through those championship standards, Pete. Our top 2 are not currently in the session, so this is an amazing chance for Tony Kloosterman to build a bit of a lead in this championship.
Yeah, I'm assuming the XVR boys are doing what you described before, doing the Nürburgring, and that's gonna sacrifice quite a lot of points when you think about it, isn't it? Because Tony Kloosterman's in here. He's not a million miles behind. He's 60 odd points behind first place at the minute. He's not on top of the timing screens yet because we've only just started this session. But it's a big advantage to him if he can get out in front and claw some of that championship lead away.
Yeah, it certainly is, and there's big points on offer in this Endurance Championship. For those of you that don't know about this series, it runs alongside our normal Racetech Cup series. 10 rounds, spread over 12 months, one every month. And they're all 2-hour races from some of the finest tracks in the world. So although Rich and Steve don't seem to be here tonight, and it's a good opportunity for Tony to get a lead, it'd be quite easy, or should be fairly easy, for them to claw it back in later rounds, shall we say. And I've just noticed Mr. Better Late Than Never Switzer has joined us in the booth. Good evening, Bill.
Good evening, gentlemen. Sorry I'm late.
That's not a problem. Obviously, you've been having a nana nap. So we were just saying that, we've got a fairly small field tonight because of other things going on in iRacing. But some of the small fields we've had have given us some really, really good racing. Coupled with the fact that it's Bathurst, it's arguably the jewel in the crown of the V8 Supercars. We're expecting some exciting racing. What about you, Bill?
I agree. I think it's going to give an opportunity to a lot of the, what should I say, middle pack guys maybe to kind of run toward the front. Give them a little more experience being up there. I mean, obviously we got Tony Klosterman here, and I saw Chris Jackson's name, but I don't see any time, so I'm not sure if he's running or what. But, those two guys are obviously the aces of the field. But for a 2-hour race, I mean, anything can happen. Let's face it. You can bin a wall, or you can get in real trouble and get hurt at this place. So it's, it's anybody's game. I think if you keep clean, run a good pace, and stay out of trouble, you got as good a chance as anybody does.
Yeah, definitely. Like you say, it is one of those tracks that a 2-hour race, one slight error of judgment, lacking concentration, and your race can go south quickly. I know Pete's got some experience with Bathurst races going south quickly.
Usually after the 50th lap, apparently. So no doubt you'll hear about that many times over the course of the next 2 and a bit hours.
Well, it's really a unique track. It's you have the kind of wide open sections, which are down at the bottom. You got 2 big straightaways going like gangbusters up to 300 kilometers an hour, which is about 185, I believe, 186 miles an hour. But you get up into the mountain area, and I mean, you got cement walls all the way around, really crazy turns, tight quarters, and one little boo-boo here and could end your day or put you in the pits for quite a while. So it's really a unique place. It's a lot of fun to watch. It's a bear to learn how to drive, and I'll tell you, even with a small field, this is going to be a good race.
Yeah, it most definitely will be. So halfway through qualifying at the moment, so we've got some times going in. I believe I was going to say Chris Jackson is currently on pole, but I think he's just been hit by Marco Nemela.
Yeah, Marco Nemela with a 2:02.6. That is an astonishing time, really.
That's a very fast lap. Yes, sir.
Yeah, in the few laps that they did before this, Tony Klosterman was top with a 2:02.6 as well. So, yeah, that's a very competitive time.
Really is. Marco did very well in the race we broadcast last night, too, against some really tough competitors there. He did an excellent job.
Yeah, that was hard fought for that, really, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
And our actual league race lap record, that was a bit of a mouthful, looks like it's under fire tonight, because it goes all the way back to season 1 when we first started, and Farouk Manzar did a 2:03.324. Bear in mind that is a race lap and not a quali lap, though.
That was also the older car, too.
Yeah, it certainly was. I think that's probably one of our longest standing lap records in the league. and we're into our, like I say, we're into our 8th season and our 4th year. So that's it's got to tumble at some point.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, there's a couple of people not in the session at the moment. In fact, there's a few. So Tyler Newitt, Jimmy Jeffrey, I don't think they're in session. Oh no, they are, but Richard Allsop and Michael Frost are not.
I've seen Michael Frost has been having some connection issues.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it happens to the best of us. It happens to me a lot lately.
It shows Ant Woodward with. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say. So 2-hour race. Let's talk pit stop strategy. I'm guessing, and it is a guess, that it's going to be a 2-stopper. And we've seen, from our broadcast last night, when you make your pit stop, can make all the difference to the outcome of your race. So what do you think, Pete? Do you think we're going to see people pitting early, or do you think we're going to see people running these cars dry and going for a splash and dash or a shorter stop at the end?
Shorter stop at the end seems to be a popular choice at the minute. I'm not so good at commenting on this. I rarely get as far as the pit stop around here. I'm usually in the pits anyway, getting several very experienced imaginary pit crew fixing my car. But yes, I think it'll be run your car out twice and then put enough in to cough over the line as the last stint. That's what's happened previously. No reason to suggest that'd be any different. But like we saw, like you said the other day, Tony and Johnny came together. Tony pitted immediately in order to sort out any damage. It was a good decision, and it meant he was competitive towards the end of the race. So anything can happen.
Yeah, and I think that is the beauty of these longer races. It does allow you to, most drivers go in with a strategy in mind. But because the pit window can be stretched, if you're stuck in traffic, you can dive in early. Clean road, turning fast laps. Like you say, you can stay out and run the car dry. So yeah, it does open up all the different strategies in a 2-hour race.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
No, go on, Bill.
It was kind of funny last night, the race we were watching, which was a different situation, but it seemed, and Pete brought this up too, that it seems sometimes these cars have a tendency with a little, quicker stop on the first stop. They seem to do better running the longer stint on the second stop, and it proved to be true because Nicole Foggy, who really was kind of in tough shape in the first stint, came through and won the race by a pretty good margin. So, of course he's not here, but I don't know. Of course, one thing that does change it a little bit is, like Clyde mentioned, there's probably going to be 2 stops, so that kind of changes the strategy a little bit as well. But I think I'm not sure about the splash and dash. We'll have to wait and see. But I think they're going to probably make probably 2 equal stops and run to the end without that splash and dash.
Okay, so qualifying is over. Let's leave it up to Mr. Pete Bingham to run us through your starting grid.
Certainly will. So Marco Namela put in the fastest time of a 2:02.6. He heads our field away at the start of the race shortly. Tony Kloosterman, not far behind him with a 2:03.151. Not as good as his practice laps, but anything changes. Even the temperature can change and throw you off slightly. Chris Jackson, his teammate in third, 2:03.403. Greg Carr in fourth, another Never Quit Racing driver, so that's 3 in the top 4 on a 2:03.5, so they're all very close. Less than a second split in the top 4 drivers. Then Wayne Sanderson, the privateer, in a 2:03.931. Andrew Hoffman, who does very well around here, in a 2:04.8. Jamie Wilson, after that, in 7th. Nikolai Bogotyrev in 8th. Tyler Newitt in 9th, Ant Woodward in 10th, Jamie Jeffrey in 11th, Andrew Packer in 12th, and I'm just going to check if they're still in. They are not. So Michael Frost and Rich Dawson, who were in practice, have not put a qualifying time and are not in the session.
Oh, what a shame. That's really too bad. Our team colors aren't in there in this race. Very disappointing.
Yeah, earlier on during practice, there was a lot of Mike Frost connected, Mike Frost disconnected, Mike Frost connected.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think he's having some sort of troubles tonight.
I must have still been doing my nanny rest at that time.
Yeah, so we're just winding down now the end of the qualifying session and get ready for the cars to grid up and get the green lights for a go.
So, another unusual thing about this the Racetech Endurance Series that we have is that, some of the hot shoes that we have, the Tony, the Tony Klusterman, the Johnny Brandon, and Nicole and a few George. And it's amazing that Rich Warmingham won the first 2 events in this, and George won the 3rd race. So it's pretty interesting that those other guys did not win that race. Kind of unique. And it looks like they're
waiting for the cars to grid.
Marco's out there already. He's ready. He was so humble about the way he did last night. He acted like he had a terrible race. I would have traded with him any day. He did great.
I've just got some technical issues I'm working through, so you two carry on commentating for a while I figure it out.
All right. And another notable thing, Greg Carr's really come along this year. We've mentioned it before, but I mean, qualifying 4th with the 3 guys in front of him, that's excellent. And Wayne Sanderson's no slow guy, so that was a good effort on Greg's part. And our buddy Jamie Jeffrey showed up. That's good. That's nice.
Yeah, Jamie's out there with his new paint on.
Oh, excellent. Good. Yeah, that's bad about Mike Frost. Shame. Living out in the hills of Kentucky, sometimes that's what happens when you with internet stuff. Too bad. Okay, I see Tony Klusterman on the grid now. He's usually the last one to come up there. I'm really surprised.
Yeah, there's a couple of spaces on the grid at the moment. A couple of cars missing.
Yeah, our
lights are about to come on.
Okay.
4, 5 lights are on, green, and we're away.
Okay.
Great start there from Marco Namella. Immediately cuts in front of I think that was Tony Klusterman.
Yes, it is.
Oh, Hoffman wide on the first turn and nearly got collected by Nikolai Bogatire.
I don't think he got it. I don't think Andrew got a great start. He kind of fell back. A lot of people went. 2 or 3 cars went by him there.
Yeah, it looks like Tony's alongside at the front. But round there, oh, he's lost it on cold tyres, and there's going to be a little bit of damage there for Tony.
Oh, he spun at Griffin's. Wow, that's too bad.
He was on the outside on the dirty line.
Okay, he's
I
re-entered.
think he would have got too much damage.
What's Chris Jackson doing way back here, too? Something must have happened to him. Oh, he started in the back. Okay.
I believe Chris may have started from the pit lane.
Oh, maybe. Okay.
But Tony wishes he did now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was a combination of dirty track, cold tyres.
No doubt.
He was lucky not to get collected by anybody else, so it was just a sort of light brush with the wall that he might be able to T-cut that one out.
I think his car is basically clean. Tony Klusterman, I think he's okay. I'll have to give him a challenge to catch up now.
So my technical issues, it was the person controlling the computer that was the problem.
Well, hey, it happens, It's okay. We're glad to have you back. We need an expert
Okay.
that's good at the early stages of the run at Bathurst.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's about this point that I cease to have any knowledge, funnily enough. I didn't know there was a start-finish line.
So we're watching a four-car battle at the moment with Andrew Hoffman leading Tyler Newitt, Nikolai Bogotyrev, and Woodward bringing up the rear of these four.
Yeah,
I was just watching that myself. Interesting.
Nikolai's looking a bit fighty at the minute, isn't he? He's honing in on Tyler in front of him. Having a look, showing his nose. And Woodward doing the same to Nikolai.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is the part of the track where it's so hard to get anything done.
Ooh, it's.
Whoa.
I'll tell you, the Griffin's been where Tony spun. Whoa! Tyler Newitt went very wide, almost collected the wall just then.
I'd like to say that's easily done, but it's just me making myself feel better for all the crashes that I've had around here.
Oh, I'll tell you, the area where they're going through now is a tough area. I'll tell you, it'll collect you in a hurry.
And the car likes to wash out, particularly on the turn they've just gone round, before you dive over Skyline.
Exactly, yep, for sure.
This is always a code brown, dropping your speed down to get through the tight S-bends there.
Here's the most critical turn on the track, out Forest Elbow, and it's a tough one to get right, too.
Yeah, I hate it. It's either wheel spin or the wall.
Yep, exactly.
When you see it done well, it's fantastic, isn't it? Because it's almost like they get fired out of a cannon down Conrad. Yeah, and then into the chase.
They have so much speed at the end of the Conrad straight compared to somebody that comes out of there slowly.
Yeah. So Tony's teeing up Jamie Jeffrey at the minute. That is a nice paint scheme on that car.
Yeah, that was
somebody gardening. Sorry, say that again, Clyde.
Yeah, that was a textbook move there from Tony, just followed him all the way down and took the inside line. Somebody getting out of the way there.
That was Andrew Packer, he moved over.
So up the front, Marco Namella has pulled out nearly a 3-second lead over Greg Carr. And his fastest lap was 7/10 quicker than Greg Carr as well.
Wow.
However, we've just seen how easy it is to lose the car around here.
Yeah, I mean, even if Tony's managing to spin it, then anybody could.
Yep.
Exactly, and there's only 5 minutes gone out of 2 hours, so there's a long race ahead of us.
Sure. Boy, talk about feeling out of control coming down through that Skyline area. Holy mackerel. You think to yourself, boy, I hope that turns at the bottom there. Let me tell you.
Yeah, definitely.
Whoa. Shit.
That was an unusual line from, difference in line between Hoffman and Tyler Newitt just then.
Where were they at?
Do you know what? Oh, Forest Elbow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Andrew Hoffman took a very wide line into it, and Tyler Newitt took a very, very shallow line into it.
Huh.
Hard to tell who got the advantage there.
Yeah, this train of four won't break up, will it? Any advantage that Andrew Hoffman can pull through the twisty bits, the cars behind are just going to drag back up to him down Conrod Straight. So,
yeah.
Well, who was it that keeps calling it Conrod Straight?
That was me.
Oh, here we go.
Oh,
Here we go.
oh dear.
Yep, Tyler and Hoffman. Andrew hit the inside curve, got him on two wheels, lost control, and Tyler Newitt ran into him. Too bad. That's
Yeah,
rough.
pretty nice to see a replay of that one as soon as we can.
And Andrew
So yeah, here we go in. Andrew is in, up on 2 wheels, started to slide. Tyler's gone into him. Nikolai's gone into Tyler and pushed him in again.
And Andrew Hoffman's car is hurt. It was crabbing. He's in the pits.
Oh, he's lifted. Yeah, it lifted right up in the air, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
And that's what I was talking about with that particular turn. There's all sorts of dynamics that affect your car going through there, and that is obviously one of them.
Yeah, and visually, Tyler's come out the worst, but it looks like his car's driving okay, whereas Andrew Hoffman has had to pit.
Well, it's almost like Andrew Hoffman's rear suspension got damaged because as he tried to pull away, the car was crabbing like crazy. He walked on one side, he couldn't control it, so he decided to key out, and he's in the pits apparently getting his car fixed, I think. Doesn't he have a fast repair though?
Yeah, he should be out. We got a fast repair, so...
Yeah, nothing's going on. He's moving out of the pits at this time.
Yeah, so that's a bit like Antwood getting a bye, isn't it? Because he's been promoted with the disappearance of Andrew Hoffman and Tyler Newitt.
For sure.
And the same for Chris Jackson and Tony Klusterman, actually. So they're line astern at the moment, nose to tail.
Yeah, a couple of free places for everybody there.
Oh, and like I was saying before, Andrew Hoffman's fast round here, so it's disappointing to see him, well, hopefully not going a lap down. No, he has gone a lap down, hasn't he?
Well, that's just bad hitting that curve, that sausage curve at Murray's there, propped him right up on 2 wheels. Here's the Tony Klusterman's catching Chris Jackson.
I'm surprised I won't be bump drafting down some of these straights.
For sure.
And Marco Nemela continues to extend his lead over Greg Carr. It's now up to 4.5 seconds.
Wow.
How many fast repairs do they get in the Endurance Series, Clyde?
Just the one, Mrs. Wembley.
Right.
Only the older people will know that reference.
Yeah. I don't know what you're on about.
It doesn't seem like Andrew used his fast repair, though. He was in there quite a while.
Yeah, he might have chosen to have the damage fixed in favour of keeping that fast repair for later in... I mean, it's a long race, 2 hours, isn't it?
Yeah, could be. Might be right.
You can quite easily pick up 15, 20 minutes worth of damage around here, can't you? And that's where your fast repair comes in handy. If he just had a minute, 90 seconds, then it probably might have been better off just to getting it repaired. Or, he may have, had his fast repair turned off and towed back to the pits.
Right.
You never know.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you another thing, being pitting so soon, he may be able to stay out a little longer, maybe pick up some time, possibly get his lap back too.
Well, I think I understand what's happened. I think because he crashed after the pit entry, I think he's reset his car, and the time that you saw him in the pits was his tow time, because obviously I'm an expert getting towed around here. It takes forever on the clock to get your car seen to.
Good point, Pete.
That's got your name on it, Pete.
It has, yeah. In fact, if you see several of the walls around here, they've got like little plaques and my name on them.
Pete was here.
Yeah, and here, and here, and a little bit here. Yeah.
I don't show Andrew Hoffman being a lap down either.
I've got him in blue on my screen for some reason.
Oh, do you? Okay. All right.
On your live timing, Clyde, is he showing blue?
He is showing blue, yes.
Okay. Right.
I'm assuming that does mean he's a lap down. I don't. Maybe not.
Probably.
Maybe Sam can inform us better at some point. So,
it may all shake out at the end of this lap once everybody's gone across the line, but at the moment I'm seeing him about 1 minute 37 behind Andrew Packer, and he's I think he is a lap down.
Yeah.
I think he might as well. Ooh, there's contact with the wall there. That was Nikolai Bogotyrev creating lovely sparks.
Yeah, just a scrape. Nothing serious.
Yeah.
Now,
It's called racing at Bathurst. That.
Now Chris Jackson and Tony Kluseman have closed in on Ant Woodward. So they're in that battle with that 4 car. And Nikolai Bogotrov's right ahead of them. Coming right onto the Conrad straight at this point.
Yep. And Tyler knew it. Has he had his car repaired? It looks pretty good on my screen.
We did have.
What?
It
Did
doesn't
I just curse him?
anymore.
I think I
That-
just cursed him.
That looked like some sort of hardware
Neck
failure to me.
Yeah, big time.
That was just full pace into the wall.
Who was that? I missed it. Sorry.
It was Tyler. I was busy commenting on how good his car looked, and
Well, his bonnet's gone right at this moment.
I think there's more than his bonnet gone. That was bizarre. That can only, like you're saying, that can only be a connection issue.
Could be.
Yeah, he just didn't seem to lift. He just straight into the wall.
Tony Kluseman has moved by Chris Jackson, who's now right behind Ant Woodward.
Yeah, just watching that Tyler thing again. It didn't even turn. He just straight on.
Yeah, you should never admit these, should you? But it actually made me jump. I honestly didn't expect it to happen.
Ant Woodward has moved
that
over.
was yeah.
Tony and Chris have gotten by him.
This Jamie Jeffrey, isn't we on? No, we're on Chris Jackson, aren't we? Of course.
Bear with me, guys. It's my turn to have technical problems now.
So yeah, we've got Wayne Sanderson here with Jamie Wilson hot on his tail.
I've just seen on the chat, Tyler's put that his headset crashed immediately after taking his fast repair.
Ugh.
Oh, wow.
The evils of technology. Whilst it can be great at times, it can also be a punishing thing to have with you.
Well, after 8 laps, Marco Numella's out there all by himself having a nice little drive around Bathurst, doing a great job.
Over 6 seconds ahead of Greg Carr now.
Yeah.
So Marco's got it all wired in. But like we know, Bathurst is horrible at times, and you can find a bit of wall to go and wreck your car on, and then all of a sudden you're a lap down.
You can lose that in a hurry. That's for sure. And Wayne Sanderson is in 3rd place, and he's behind Greg by a little over 3.5 seconds, roughly. So the front's kind of spread out. Of course, Jamie Wilson isn't too far from Wayne Sanderson.
No, he's not. He's right on him, and we're following him on the broadcast at the moment.
Yep.
Some different lines again. Wayne Sanderson wide into the first one and tight into the second. And Jamie tight into both of those turns. This is where you get lots of wheel spin climbing up this hill, and those bumps on the right and the left destabilise the car. You wash out to the right. That's where I like to crash, just there.
Yeah.
And then over the brow of this bit, round the corner. What do you say, Clyde?
Yeah.
He's still listing the places. Oh, I like this one as well. This is always good for me.
The dipper, yeah.
Oh, we've got a slow mover on the right.
Is that Greg Carr or Ant Woodward?
Ant Woodward.
That's Ant Woodward, is it?
No, 28.
No, that's Greg Carr.
Greg
right.
Carr, you're right.
He's now 11 seconds off the lead.
Oh, he's had a moment.
Greg.
Yeah.
We're on board with Greg at the moment.
Oof.
Oh, it's yes.
I do that.
I'll press the brakes. No,
Yeah.
they're not. I'm not going to slow down at all.
I'm airborne at the minute. What am I going to do now? Yeah, that's another famous bit like I was describing before, going over Skyline and just having nothing. You use the controls like you did for the other 20 laps, if you can manage 20, and they do nothing at all. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, we just caught Tony going past Nikolai as well.
Yep. This is getting a bit tasty here now. Yeah, go on, Bill.
Jamie Wilson really pressing Wayne Sanderson at this moment. Going up on the mountain straight at this point. Ant's pulled a little bit away from him, not much though. I'm sorry, that's great car, excuse me.
Yeah, it's a good battle, this.
I can see Tony in the back there too. He's coming pretty hot and heavy toward this group.
Yeah, and I think Chris Jackson will be in a hurry to get past Nikolai as well. So, and we've just seen a replay there of Tony going past Nikolai. So, see how quickly Tony can catch these two that are battling.
I find it's also easy to distract people on Bathurst by sticking your nose out more than any other track because it's
flashing the lights.
Oh, don't, don't. That should just be banned, in my opinion.
He just said the magic words.
He did. That's my trigger.
I'm with you, Pete. I don't like that either.
No. I hate it when you're getting flashed at by people that are on the same lap as you, and you're like,
yeah.
Well, you can only be doing it now just to annoy the hell out of me. So,
yeah.
You're obviously a vile human being. If you're lapping people, then fair enough. Let them know that you're approaching at speed. But if you're on the same lap, leave it alone.
There you go. Let logic cloud your thinking again, Pete.
Yeah. Just back to this battle. I think Greg is definitely quicker than Wayne because he was pulling away before his little incident. Yep. So he's got a little bit of a gap there. But Tony Klusterman is coming fast in the background.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
There'll be a couple more laps. He'll be on these guys.
And I think Chris has now caught Nikolai as well. He's under half a second off the back of him.
Nikolai was sideways there in the background.
He's good at catching them though. I've seen him do that a few times in other races. He's got some damage.
His nose down the inside.
He is. Oh, I thought there was going to be a little door bang.
I thought there was going to be a door bang, but nothing. Drag race now up the hill.
Yeah, just checking my paint package. Are you seeing Chris in grey and blue? Or are you seeing him in NQR colours?
NQR colours.
NQR.
Right. Must be something wrong with my paint package that I downloaded earlier then.
Yeah, I'm surprised we had a paint package this morning.
So Chris has got the job done over Nikolai, so he'll be off up the road chasing Tony. I think in the last lap and a half, Tony's taken 2 seconds out of Jamie Wilson and Wayne Sanderson battle.
That's impressive, but they are going to be holding each other up. We know that. We've seen it many times, haven't we?
Just on that shot we just had, it looked like Wayne had just stretched out a few car lengths over Jamie.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has. And Tony's getting ever closer. Yeah, they almost look equidistant right now, the three guys, Greg, Wayne, and Jamie, sorry.
Yeah, and Marco just keeps pounding out those laps and making that gap's up to 13 seconds.
He probably wonders where everybody is. Where the heck is everybody? Whoop! Jamie Wilson's off the side there a little bit, coming out of the chase. Lost a little ground. Tony's closing in quick.
Yep. Meanwhile, Marco Namela, 13.5 seconds.
Yeah, it's an imperious drive at the moment. But again, you know, we're 20 minutes into a 2-hour race.
Very true.
It's quite easy for everything to go wrong. Not that we're trying to put the commentators to curse on Marco.
No, never would.
But, you know, it looks like he's got it in the bag, but it's too far to go yet.
Still got a long way to go, that's right.
And Wayne Sanderson is now right on the rear end of Greg Carr.
Yes, he is.
And Tony is not too many car lengths behind Jamie Wilson. So we've got a couple of battles shaping up here, guys.
Yeah, it's turning out to be very exciting. Wayne Sanderson, without Jamie's attention, has managed to get the tractor beam out.
Exactly.
It's funny how that changes, isn't it? I've found
yeah.
that a few times where you're not driving in your mirrors. You can focus on pulling onto the back of the car in front and use that to tow you down places like Conrod Straight and the one that leads up the hill. What's that called again?
Mountain Straight.
Oh, that's an obvious one that I should have really remembered.
It's interesting as well that the different lines that these guys are taking. Just watching Wayne, he's taking a lot tighter corners than Greg Carr is. Greg's using all the track, and Wayne is just using the little bits that he wants.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think there's a price to pay and a benefit for each one of those things. One may be faster over a short distance, but you may pay for it in the tyre wear as you go through the stint that you're on. So Greg might end up losing a bit of time, but being able to block as he goes round. But he'll have better tyres later on because he's not crossing his wheels up and taking tight lines into corners. I think it's all the style of racing, and each one has its merits depending on what you're doing at that point in time. Meanwhile, Tony has met Jamie Wilson.
Yeah, and if Jamie manages to slow Tony up, that's going to drag Chris Jackson back into this battle as well.
Definitely. I thought Chris would probably stick with Tony, but Tony, being the V8 god that he is, he's pulled away quite handsomely.
Well, he seemed to have a little. Chris seemed to have a little more trouble getting by Nikolai than Tony Klosterman did.
He did pay me money for that, so it's
I
alive.
actually thought you was dyslexic and you meant V8 dog. It amazes me when you see some of these shots on how close these cars are to the wall. I don't think you realise when you're in the car, but when you see it from outside, it's like, oh, hang on.
Oh, yeah. That exit at Forest Elbow, when you do it right, you couldn't put a piece of paper between the rear quarter or the rear wing and the wall out there on the outside. God, unbelievable.
Like Tony just demonstrated.
Yep, exactly.
It's going to be, no, actually, I say this will be Tony's chance, but I think he might just be too far back.
Yeah.
Unless he tries that dive up the inside move into the next left.
Not this time, I don't think.
I don't know, he's good on the brakes. Maybe not that good. Bit of tyre smoke from Jamie's car. Under braking.
He's feeling the heat, no doubt about it.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. But is it my eyes, or is he actually catching Wayne?
He is. I was just going to say that. They're not actually slowing each other down because Chris Jackson is still 2.8 seconds behind them with clear air in front of him, so he's not pulled anything on these two at the moment.
No, and Greg Carr seems to have got his mojo back, and he's pulling away from Wayne.
Yeah.
So I think we'll end up with a 3-car battle here, which will be Wayne, Jamie and Tony. Possibly with Chris approaching, because he is... Oh, here we go.
Tony's looking inside.
Yeah, I was surprised Jamie didn't try and defend that, if I'm honest.
But he might... Sorry.
No, go ahead, Pete.
Jamie might be thinking, I've got a 2-hour race here.
Exactly.
Tony is likely to really want to get through because he sees himself 4 positions higher than he currently is. Is it worth me fighting it right now? He may choose to fight off Chris. Yeah.
To me, it just looked like he saw Tony late, went to defend, but it was too late because Tony was already up the inside. I don't know.
And that might be Tony's tactic to put his car in a place where it's not expected to be and get the advantage that way. He's got really good control of this car. Maybe he can achieve those sort of things.
Well, it definitely looked like Jamie Wilson gave Tony Klosterman room down there.
Yeah. I'd agree with that statement, absolutely. So now Tony sets off after Wayne. Wayne's trying to catch up to Greg. And then there's now 15.5 seconds between Greg and Marco Namela, our race leader.
Yeah,
Wow.
that 2.8 second gap that Chris Jackson was back from that little battle pack is now down to 1.5 seconds. So
Wow.
I think obviously Tony going down the inside there, obviously that slowed Jamie down. Chris is taking full advantage of it.
Yeah, we all know Chris Jackson. He's a scrapper. He'll do his best to get up there. Tony's looking inside, going into hell corner there.
Yeah, he's not waiting, is he?
Got it.
Look how he turned that car. What is that about?
I don't know. Grip-X, I think.
And again, it didn't look like Wayne put up much of a fight.
No,
so,
he didn't. No, he didn't.
Yeah, maybe there's some guys out here driving with their heads.
Oh, no, not that.
Yeah.
No.
And I think once you've claimed that the apex on some of these turns on this track, particularly the two 90-degree turns, the last one and the first one on the lap, you just own it straight away, don't you? That's yours now. It's hard to keep on the outside and get the grip and maintain your speed at the same time.
Yeah, and I think, like both you boys mentioned, if it was 3 laps to go, that might be a different situation.
Yeah, because this means now that Jamie's back on the boot lid of Wayne again.
Yeah.
But like Clyde said a minute ago, Chris is reeling these guys in something crazy now.
No, he's tearing it up at the moment.
Let's hope he can keep it out the wall if he's particularly pushing very hard.
This seems to have given Jamie a second wind. Who's now back all over the back of Wayne. So it's funny how this race is going, guys.
It is, and Jamie was kind of sideways coming out of Forest Elbow, and then he looks like the car with the least amount of rear grip at the minute of all of the cars around him. So we'll have to see how that transpires.
Nikolai's falling back from that group he was with originally. I don't know what's going on. Oh, he's got some
we
damage
go.
on the left front. Oops, sorry.
This is the first round of pit stops by the look of things. Jamie Wilson and Chris Jackson, and there's somebody else in ahead of them.
Nikolai Bogotrav's coming in as well.
Right. Who is that in front of them? That's Greg Carr, isn't it? Yep. Chris dove to the inside of Jamie Wilson for those extra few either bits of a second or whatever. But Marco Namela out in front, masterfully 16.6 seconds ahead of Tony Kloosterman. It'd be interesting to see how Tony manages to reduce that gap, if any. Marco's handy on a lot of tracks, isn't he? So
Sure is.
he's got no immediate pressures. He's kind of racing against the clock.
The great car's down. Chris Jackson's coming out ahead of Jamie Wilson.
So he's overtaking him on pit road.
Wow.
Yeah, that could be as simple as just taking less fuel.
Yep,
Well,
could be.
if you
which
watch,
could bite you later on.
yeah, if we could have seen a replay of the pit entry of Chris Jackson, that explains most of that situation. Where Jamie approached pit lane in a much more reserved fashion, Chris absolutely nailed all his corners and did this little jet thing as he approached the cones where the pit limit stops. So watch this. He's going to do a little, I'll have a bit of this right here, and that's where it happened. So
Wow.
very clever driving, Chris Jackson.
Obviously, he's practiced that before.
And he's just collected a bit of the paintwork that's usually on my car. Little tiniest of scrapes as he went over the top of the mountain.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the pit stop times at the moment. Tony Kloosterman and Wayne Sanderson are in, by the way.
Yes, we're just watching
Chris's stop was actually slightly slower than Jamie's.
Wow, so he really did gain all that advantage from
Yeah.
diving on the inside.
Huh.
That's brilliant. Well done, Chris.
Yeah.
Clever thinking.
Really?
So you would expect Marco in very shortly.
You would, as long as these are fuel-based pit stops and not tactical ones. Because if he's out 16 seconds, well, yes, he's not going to want it to be undercut, is he? That's your point, isn't it?
Yeah, and that turns us into a 3-stop race.
Yes, it does.
So, shout out at the moment with all the pit stops going on. Jamie Jeffrey currently running in second place.
It looks like looks like Tony has beat out Greg Carr and Chris Jackson.
Maybe Jamie Jeffrey's got Michael Taliancic's car just for the day.
Yeah. So Tony's currently in net second place.
Right.
So all we need now is Marco to pit, come out, and then we can see what the true gap is.
Yep.
Yeah. And see whether he takes the left turn into pit lane on this occasion, or whether he keeps going. Oh, no, he's in.
Pit lane, yep.
This pit entry I always get flummoxed by because you got like a
tough
rest bend in it.
Oh, tough one.
Yeah, I don't know what Andrew Packer is feeding his pit crew, but he's done the quickest pit stop at the moment at 26.9.
Wow.
Right. Maybe that's a tactical one. Maybe he's evening out 3 pit stops and evening the fuel out over the whole race. So, Marco, pit box 1.
I think Ed Woodward had a poo stop because he did a 1 minute 6.8 pit stop.
He had damage to fix though, I think. I'm not absolutely certain.
And Tony's entering the chase at this point right now.
He's entering the chase, and that's still going to be a sizable gap.
He's coming down. I don't know what the name of that area is, but he's coming down to Murray's now. Jamie Jeffrey's coming in the pits.
And Marco's gone.
Okay, Tony's on the front straight
3
now.
seconds.
Right then. And he had a 16.5-second lead before he went in. And now we're looking at a 9.5-second lead. Are you calling that, Clive?
Yeah, I'm showing it as 9.7 seconds. So I think Tony was the big winner out of the pit stops. But Marco's was a 32.3, so 4 seconds slower than Tony, and that's just the actual stopped time. So it could be that Marco filled his car to the brim and maybe Tony didn't.
Yep, I would think that that's the case. My screens are showing, just for an update, Tyler Newitt's still out of session. That's a shame that he's not managed to get back in and fix his car and carry on, but maybe his technical issue is a bit greater than just a connectivity issue with his headset.
Yeah, I think from what Tyler said on the chat, he'd just used his fast repair, and then that was a massive high-speed crash, so that would have totaled his car.
Yeah, I've experienced that way. Sometimes you can fix your car in iRacing without a fast repair, and it looks fine, but you've got no top speed, and after about 5 or 6 laps of trying to get to it 80 top speed, your engine just destroys it. So
yeah, for sure.
So just over that portion of a lap, and I know they're on new tyres, and Tony's got a couple of laps on his already, but he's Marco's fallen back a couple of tenths towards Tony. Is that Andrew leaving pit lane? Yeah, Andrew Hoffman leaving pit lane as the leader passes by.
Tony's turning into the mountain straight through Hell Corner.
Yeah, so they're in the same camera shot now.
Cool.
But if anything, Tony Clewiston is falling back from Marco Nemela now.
Huh.
Chris Jackson is pulling up to the back of Greg Carr's vehicle. That's the closest two cars on track that I can spot on the timing screens right now.
Yeah, my technical gremlins are back.
It's a shame. I've sorted out my paints, by the way. Everybody's in the right paints now. I did my infamous load the paints, then turn trading paints up. Critical error for everybody that knows trading paints and your own loaded paints. Do it the other way around and everything works.
Wow, Jamie Wilson almost lost that. Scraped the wall, going down through Skyline toward the Dipper. He's still motivating though.
Chris Jackson's very close to Greg Carr now.
Wayne Sanderson trying to close back up on Jamie Wilson to get back with their battle. Oh yeah, nice battle between Greg Carr and Chris Jackson. Chris Jackson looking inside. Nope, he's not going to do it. Through Murray's. Going down the front straight. Chris Jackson moving to the looking to the inside. He's going to make a move. Looks like he's going to get him at Hell Corner. Yep, he's gone through. He's now moved into third place.
Yeah, that was a good move.
Was very good. And he's really darted away from him on the mountain straight. Huh? I don't know if Greg's having trouble or what, but
It's possible.
I mean, he really good. He pulled out a 5 or 6 car lead right now. Maybe not that much, 4 or 5 cars anyway.
So, let's have a look and see what's happening with Wayne Sanderson. He appears to be closing in again, or rather, he's closing in on Jamie Wilson now. It was the other way around, I think, before.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. So, in that round of pit stops, we've ended up with a reversal of fortunes here.
Yeah, you pounded on me for 15 laps. Now I'm going to pound on you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Tony still looks like he's got the same distance behind Marco. That hasn't changed him, Marco Nomello. Boy, I'll tell you, with 19 laps under his belt, Marco Nomello's running a heck of a race. Wow.
It certainly is.
Wayne Sanderson's getting a little closer to Jamie Wilson.
Right, the technical issues have been booted out of the window again, so I'm back seeing what everybody else is seeing.
Well, that helps to be able to know what's going on, that's for sure. We're a little bit spread out here and there, but a lot of action.
Yeah, so we are currently third into this race. The gap at the front doesn't seem to be coming down. It's sort of hovering between 9 and 10 seconds.
Yep. Yeah, they're kind of holding true there right now. And Chris Jackson's about 5 seconds behind Tony, I believe, according to what I show.
Yeah, but just obviously we're watching Marco at the moment, and he's not driving conservatively, shall we say?
Oh yeah.
No, he's pushing, isn't he?
I suppose you see the name Kloosterman as your closest rival on your relative, and that makes you go a little bit faster.
For sure, definitely. Or it generally makes me get out of the way because usually I'm being lapped by him.
Well, he's told you blank out, Pete. He's not afraid to run over you.
Yeah.
So some of the guys asking on the chat what the track temperature is. We are currently at 83 degrees Fahrenheit.
Correct. Yep. You know, I was looking at some of the statistics of this track this morning before I took my nap before I got here, and I found it pretty amazing that from the lowest point on this track to the highest point, a difference of 174 meters.
That's crazy.
That is a lot. Let me tell you, that's a lot.
It's like 500 and something feet.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say it's a pretty, not absolute, but it's almost 500 feet. I mean, that's a lot. A lot of elevation change.
I think turn 1 at Kota has got some stupid elevation change as well, hasn't it? Where you just shoot up that hill. I remember watching the video of when they was building it and just packing it all up there.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's a huge hill. I think they said it's like 115 feet or something, or 120 feet difference, something like that. Although, even though that's my home country track, that's a stupid track, I tell you. I just don't understand. So,
guys, whilst I was having my technical gremlins, Jamie Wilson get past Wayne Sanderson. Did that happen in the pit stop?
It did.
It did, yeah. And I think there's a winner and loser there because Wayne's now honing back in on the back of Jamie Wilson's. Well, on the back of Jamie Wilson's car. Not again, he was in front. So this should be an interesting exchange once they catch one.
Left side of Chris Jackson's car is all caved in, but he seems to be moving along okay. I'm not quite sure when that happened, but body and paint man's not going to be happy with him, I can tell you. And the interval between Marco Nurmella and Tony Kluseman is still about the same. Actually, almost 10 seconds now, so...
It seems to be... So I think in certain parts of the track, Tony gets it down to about 9.1, 9.2, and then Marco stretches it back out to 9.7, 9.8. So they're running, their last lap times. Marco did a 2:04.513 and Tony did a 2:05.508. So there was a second in the overall lap time, but not really in the interval.
Right.
Maybe a little lock up from Tony or a little rear end wiggle or something, and that can make all the difference to your lap time.
Certainly. Boy, Jamie Wilson and Wayne Sanderson are like roommates. Boy, these guys are... It seems like every race these guys are together. It's amazing.
I know, yeah. But Jamie is kind of pulling a bit away from Wayne now.
Well, that was a nice turn out of Forest Elbow that time. Wow. Jamie Wilson. Yeah. Yeah, it did. He seems to be pulling away a little bit now. Whoop. Jamie went a little bit off the road that time, but he didn't lose his lose his tempo. Wow, he is around sideways through Murray's.
Yeah, this is definitely the closest battle that we've got on track at
No doubt.
the moment. And these two guys have been together from the start.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're even on the grid at in the same order or in reverse of what they're at now.
Yeah, let's see. Wayne started 5th and Jamie Wilson started 7th. So he was behind him, actually.
It's interesting because Wayne's now pulled in about 0.4 of a second just in the last, I'd say, about quarter of a lap. I wonder if this is tyres, and you know how with the new tyre model it takes a few laps, and if you've got different pressures then certain people hit their optimal tyre grip at different times. Maybe that's
true.
what's happening here.
Yeah,
sounds
although
logical.
Wayne, a couple of laps ago, Wayne was a lot closer to Jamie, so yeah, I don't know whether Jamie's just finding his rhythm or Wayne's just sort of decided, you know what, we're running about the same pace, I might as well just sit behind you and save fuel where I can. Not sure.
Or it might have been that he's overcooked his tyres and he's had to settle for a while to let them come back down again. Although we know that these tyres generally don't do that very well, do they?
Yeah,
Hard to get in.
There's a certain amount of saving them in there. There's, you know, you can't really mess them up, but yeah, you can get a little bit of life back into them. And you know, the way these guys are going at the moment, they've got probably another 10 minutes before the earliest second stop. So you'll see the guys that have mashed their tyres up. They'll be the ones that are pitting early, no doubt.
What do we figure on the next pit stop? Like about 5 or 6 laps, roughly?
Well, it all kicked off the first time round about the 30-minute mark.
I did? Okay.
Obviously, with Marco was probably the last one to stop. So I'm guessing, you know, if you look at it as a tyre wear race, then you would stop at 30 minutes, 60 minutes, and 90 minutes. So yeah. The rest of the gaps seem fairly stable at the moment. So it's just, this is our closest battle on the track, but I'm not sure Wayne has got anything for Jamie at the moment.
Yeah, they seem to kind of, he seems to he's falling back a little bit right now, I believe. Not much.
Yeah, there's a bit of ebb and flow going on. It seems like Wayne's better on the lower part of the mountain, and Jamie's better through these turns. He's to pull away. I mean, he's got 1.3 over him according to my timing screen at the moment, which is the most I've seen for the last few laps.
Yeah, definitely. But as we all know, you know, round here, any moment in this race, the wall can jump out and give you a kiss. So, nothing is a given around Bathurst.
No, and like you were saying before, Jamie seems to pull away a certain degree, but then Wayne's in his slipstream coming down Conrad and pulls back in by 0.2 of a second, although it is visibly stretched out now, isn't it? So at the minute our race leader Marco Nemela is leading Tony Klusterman by just over 9 seconds.
Who's that 67? They look a bit battered. Andrew Packer.
That's Andrew, yeah.
He's had some Bathurst love by the look of it.
Yep. He's got problems with his left front and all down the left hand side, so yeah, he's been introduced to the concrete walls.
However, 52 minutes in, and he's still going.
Yep,
Exactly.
he's done 2 minutes better than I usually do. So yeah, Marco leading Tony by 9 seconds at the minute. Tony has pulled some time back over the last few laps, but only to the tune of about a second. Chris Jackson in third, 6 seconds behind Tony. Greg Carr is in fourth, 6 seconds again behind Chris. Jamie Wilson, who we were watching very closely previously, is in fifth, with Wayne Sanderson in sixth, Nikolai Bogotyrev in seventh, Ant Wood in eighth, Jamie Jeffrey doing a great job in ninth, and then one lap down is Andrew, who we were watching a moment ago, and Andrew Hoffman, so a lap down in.
Yeah, Jamie Wilson is actually closing on Greg Carr.
Wow.
He's took a couple of seconds off of him over the last 2 or 3 laps.
He's about 3.5 behind him. Yeah.
Yeah, it was 5.5. So maybe shaking Wayne has helped him, look forwards instead of back.
It appears Andrew Packer is in the pits.
Yes, just. Yeah. It's a good shout. So he'll be in to get that damage rectified. And hopefully he'll be back on the pace when he re-emerges again. It is a bit early for the second pit stop, so maybe he just decided he got fed up with trying to manage the damage that he was carrying.
Or maybe he didn't like where he was running. Maybe he wanted to run, on a different.
Well, according to my
cars
screen,
around him or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, according to my screen, he's on his way out again. Maybe he just got in for the quick repair and left again.
Oh, could be. It's a shame that Andrew Hoffman's had a few difficulties in the beginning of the race because he's in this group with Jamie Wilson and Greg Carr, and he's pretty much between them. He's keeping up pace with these folks at the moment.
So we are currently on lap 27, nearly coming up to the hour mark. So we're nearly halfway there. Expecting to see some people in the pits very, very shortly.
Well, it'll be in about the next 5 minutes, I would say. So there's possibly another 2 laps in some of these guys. Obviously, a lot more in Marco Namela, because he was one of the last ones to pit in the last round.
Yeah, Tony Klusterman has took half a second out of Marco Namela as well on that last lap.
And he's just done the fastest sector 1 time, I think. Obviously, these cars are now light in terms of fuel, which means that they can corner faster.
Makes the rear end dance about.
But then certain drivers like that. That's a style of driving that they react to the best.
Yeah, I think Chris Jackson's one of them. He always says he likes to drive a loose car, so let's see what he can do. He's currently he's got a foot on the podium, so and he's got a healthy lead over Greg Carr in 4th. Just waiting to see the next lap times from Marco and Tony. See whether that was just a glitch from Marco or whether Tony is actually reeling him in. Yeah, that's another 3/10 that Tony's made up. I've just seen the interval go under 8 seconds for the first time.
Yep.
Yeah, Tony's on a rail right now. Whoop! Got a little fishtail coming out of hell corner, but he's okay.
Yeah, and he's pulling away from Chris Jackson quite quickly now as well.
Yes, he is.
Wayne Sanderson in the pits.
So he pitted earlier than, he pitted later than Jamie Wilson last time and managed to lose out. He ended up behind Jamie Wilson. So maybe he's trying to return that favour.
Could be.
It'd be interesting to see now if Jamie noticed that Wayne disappeared off of his relative and then tries to cover off that pit stop by pitting himself.
Yeah, I think he'll definitely be doing something in that fashion. It's a big sacrifice, isn't it? New tyres, not to have them when somebody else has.
Interestingly, Wayne's little charge after Greg Carr seems to have hit the buffers for now.
So we are quickly approaching the 1 hour mark.
Yeah, and Woodward's in the pits.
Marco Nemela's lead is almost back to 9 seconds again now.
Yeah, Tony, I ran around in car with Tony, and he slipped up a few places, lost some time here and there, so that's probably the reason.
Maybe pushing too hard, possibly.
He is definitely pushing hard.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to have an on-board lap with Tony just to see how hard he is pushing.
That's who I'm with. He is pushing very hard.
And as if by magic, and this on-board view really gives you a sense of the speed around this track and how close you are to the walls and basically how close you are to death on every corner. I think that is Anne Woodward there in front of Tony.
I believe you're right.
Just come out of the pit, so his tyres will be cold. I'm pretty sure he won't hold Tony up, being teammates. So Jamie Wilson has pitted. Nikolai Bogotyrev has pitted as well. And I believe Jamie has come out behind Wayne.
Wow.
And moves out of the way there, lets Tony through.
Yep, that was very over obvious, wasn't it, if you know what I mean? Very through. But then Ant's got quite a lot of damage on the left-hand side of his car from what I
Tony
can
comes
see.
into the pits. So this will be a big stop. Oh shit, looked like he had all 4 locked up then going over the line. So yeah, there's
somebody's crashed behind him. Who's that that's crashed into pit wall in the distance behind Tony on the cameras that I'm watching?
Yeah, I didn't
It
catch
looked like
that.
an NQR car.
Oh, that looks like Chris Jackson to me.
Right, he looked like he hit it at a real rate of knots.
Yep,
And he's got no bonnet or anything.
correct.
Yeah.
The bonnet's flipped off. Yep.
That looked like a heavy impact, it has to be said.
Yeah, the front panel's all crushed in too.
Hopefully he's still got a fast repair.
Yeah, so after congratulating Chris on his awesome first stop, it's all got a bit pear-shaped on that one.
Yeah, that was less than finesse.
He's disconnected too.
That's a rage quit.
Yep. He's mad at himself now.
So yeah, I'm now seeing Jamie Wilson 4 seconds behind Wayne Sanderson. So that battle's going to come back to us again.
It is, and I wonder if that's as a result of those pit stops as well. Because that's flipped over again. That's now Jamie behind Wayne.
Yeah, there was a 3-second difference in the pit stops. Obviously, Wayne 3 seconds faster than Jamie. But he was only a second and a half behind on track. So his in-lap and his out-lap must have been better as well. And Wayne's just put in a 2:04.8.
Yeah, that's shifting there. And that's with a full tank of fuel. If he's just been in.
Yeah, most definitely.
I'm surprised flames are coming out of the back of Tony Klusterman's car. God, he is absolutely sailing. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I think the only flames are the ones coming out of Chris Jackson's ears at the minute. I don't think he's very happy with
probably
what happened just then.
So Marco is in the pits.
See how Tony handles Murray's here. He's through Murray's. He's in the pits. Marco's in the pits now?
Yep.
Tony's coming down the front straight right now.
He's in view.
6.5 seconds that interval's gone down to.
It has, yeah, that's a big jump.
Yeah, so it looks like with both cars getting up to speed, that gap is going to settle just over 6 seconds.
Yeah, I'm showing 6.3.
Yeah, there was almost a second in their actual stopped time, so 0.8 of a second better off was Marco. But then he did run long in the first stint, so he would have needed less fuel then. Okay, so we are going to go for a quick ad break so that we can refill our glasses and go to the little boys' room. We'll be right back after the ads.
Hi, my name's David Black from Racetech Seats. We've been designing seats for 20 years now for race cars. and have come up with some philosophies that we believe are necessary in a race car to support the driver and to get him home safe. Data collected from around the motorsport world over many years shows that if a driver is well enough supported in a crash, he can survive some big impacts. So the areas of the body that need to be supported are the head, the neck, the shoulder and the torso. If those areas are kept in alignment with each other, then the driver can handle some pretty big G-forces. Racetech has developed a range of seats over those years which incorporates good strong head restraint, square shoulders to support the upper torso. And then on top of that, we fix the seat at the shoulder level to the chassis or the roll cage, hence transferring that load directly to the chassis in an impact. So this is exactly what I'm talking about here. Just one of our standard brackets for back mounting to the roll cage. So obviously with this fixed to the roll cage, there's absolutely no way that the top of the seat can move at all, so therefore the driver obviously gets much better feel of what's happening in the race car. And as you saw in the crash footage, the seat that had the shoulder fixing, the brackets are virtually untouched. The brackets that were on the seat when there was no back fixing at the shoulder level are really deformed. That's what happens with the load going down to the side brackets only. So the 3 points of difference that a Racetech back mounted seat has is firstly that it gives the driver a much better chance in an accident because the seat's so much stronger and better supported to the chassis. The second one, and it's a comment we get from a lot of drivers around the world, is that it gives them better feel of the race car, so hence they can drive faster for longer. And the third one is engineers have been telling us that they actually believe they're getting better structural integrity of the car because the seat is such a strong part of the car and three-way fixed. Our two main ranges of seats that follow this philosophy is our 119 and 129 range of seats. The 129 range of seats meets the latest FIA standard and obviously incorporates these same philosophies of back fixing at the shoulder. Here at Racetech, we want drivers to win races and get home safe.
This particular vehicle was set up with a full containment race seat, specifically designed for drag racing and road racing, and this drag car is required to have 2 seats. This full containment seat has back mounting designed to keep the driver fully contained in a rollover or wreck. The seat belts are polyester. We spent a lot of time in research and development in creating a seat that has specific shoulder supports that wrap around the driver and keep him fully contained. We have projects with Aston Martin, McLaren, Porsche, and we have a warehouse operations here in the States. We also have a dealer network that is listed on our website, and they can buy off our website direct. Hi racers, this is Brian with Racetech USA. We want to share some exciting developments about our new release of the RT4100 series seats. The seats are designed for road racers, rally cars, and 6 to 8 second drag cars. The seats will work extremely well for track day and drift cars as well. The new design is available in 2 sizes, standard or big and tall, with or without head restraint. All seats are manufactured from fiberglass composite with large harness slot guides. The seat cover has been enhanced with spacer material for better comfort during summer racing. The back mount beam comes standard just like in our premium seats. It can be bolted to your car's harness bar. They also use the same standard aluminum side mount brackets that are used on our 009 and 119 series of seats. Just recently, the head restraint seats received FIA approval, which allows us now to ship them with the proper decals. You can contact your local dealer to order. Any further questions, please visit our website or contact me at 704-450-4507. Thanks for taking the time for watching this video.
Hi, my name's David Black from Racetech Seats in New Zealand. We've been designing seats for 20 years now for race cars and have come up with some philosophies that we believe are necessary in a race car to support the driver and to get him home safe. Data collected from around the motorsport world over many years shows that if a driver is well enough supported in a crash, he can survive some big impacts. So the areas of the body that need to be supported are the head, the neck, the shoulder and the torso. If those areas are kept in alignment with each other, then the driver can handle some pretty big G-forces. Racetech has developed a range of seats over those years which incorporates good strong head restraint, square shoulders to support the upper torso. And then on top of that, we fix the seat at the shoulder level to the chassis or the roll cage, hence transferring that load directly to the chassis in an impact. So this is exactly what I'm talking about here. Just one of our standard brackets for back mounting to the roll cage. So obviously with this fixed to the roll cage, there's absolutely no way that the top of the seat can move at all, so therefore the driver obviously gets much better feel of what's happening in the race car. And as you saw in the crash footage, the seat that had the shoulder fixing, the brackets are virtually untouched. The brackets that were on the seat when there was no back fixing at the shoulder level are really deformed. That's what happens with the load going down to the side brackets only. So the 3 points of difference that a Racetech back mounted seat has is firstly that it gives the driver a much better chance in an accident because the seat's so much stronger and better supported to the chassis. The second one, and it's a comment we get from a lot of drivers around the world, is that it gives them better feel of the race car, so hence they can drive faster for longer. And the third one is engineers have been telling us that they actually believe they're getting better structural integrity of the car because the seat is such a strong part of the car and three-way fixed. Our two main ranges of seats that follow this philosophy is our 119 and 129 range of seats. The 129 range of seats meets the latest FIA standard and obviously incorporates these same philosophies of back fixing at the shoulder. Here at Racetech, we want drivers to win races and get home safe.
This particular vehicle was set up with a full containment race seat, specifically designed for drag racing and road racing, and this drag car is required to have 2 seats. This full containment seat has back mounting designed to keep the driver fully contained in a rollover or wreck. The seat belts are polyester. We spent a lot of time in research and development in creating a seat that has specific shoulder supports that wrap around the driver and keep him fully contained. We have projects with Aston Martin, McLaren, Porsche, and we have a warehouse operations here in the States. We also have a dealer network that is listed on our website, and they can buy off our website direct. Hi racers, this is Brian with Racetech USA. We want to share some exciting developments about our new release of the RT 4100 series seats. The seats are designed for road racers, rally cars, and 6 to 8 second drag cars. The seats will work extremely well for track day and drift cars as well. The new design is available in 2 sizes, standard or big and tall, with or without head restraint. All seats are manufactured from fiberglass composite with large harness slot guides. The seat cover has been enhanced with spacer material for better comfort during summer racing. The back mount beam comes standard just like in our premium seats. It can be bolted to your car's harness bar. They also use the same standard aluminum side mount brackets that are used on our 009 and 119 series of seats. Just recently, the head restraint seats received FIA approval, which allows us now to ship them in proper decals. You can contact your local dealer to order. Any further questions, please visit our website.
And welcome back everybody. We have our glasses filled and our bladders emptied. Coming up to 1 hour 17 minutes of this race. Currently we have Marco Namela leading Tony Clouston by 7.7 seconds. Wayne Sanderson is currently sat in 3rd, Jamie Wilson 4th, Greg Carr 5th, Nikolai Bogotyrev is in 6th, and Woodward in 7th, Jamie Jeffrey in 8th, Andrew Hoffman in 9th, and Andrew Packer in 10th are your only 10 cars left running so far. At the moment, Marco is driving like a man possessed. He's currently, the last 3 or 4 laps, he's put quicker times in than Tony Kloosterman. So he's stretching that gap out now. He's up to 7.5 seconds, but we've still got a pit stop to go, and we've still got another 40 minutes or so of racing.
We have a nice little battle going here between Jamie Wilson and Greg Carr. They're very close together, going up the hill now, and Jamie's in the lead, and Greg's pushing really hard. The lead of that duo, I mean, pardon me. And Wayne Sanderson is kind of distancing himself from those guys. Pulled out quite a ways.
So yeah, we've had a few technical gremlins tonight. We're currently, hopefully, watching the Greg Carr, Jamie Wilson battle.
They're up in Conrad Straight now.
Yeah, Greg should be pulling a massive toe off that car in front at this point.
Certainly would think so, yeah.
Provided he's not running high wings so that he can survive the tighter turn. He's going for it.
Boy, wow.
Yeah, he's overshot it though.
Went a little wide, lost some distance there.
Yeah, he went for it a little bit too much there.
Yeah,
Yes, he did
gave it a bit too many beans.
Clyde put out the perfect description of Marco Numella while we were on break. He was driving like a man possessed. He was just going so fast. It was incredible.
He certainly got Bathurst all worked out up to this point, hasn't he?
I mean, a few times he went down through the cutting, and I thought he lost it, but boy, he recovered and just kept right on hammering. Unbelievable.
So Tony was about 6 seconds away from Marco previously. He's now shown at 7.4. So he's obviously not making great inroads into that time gap. He's got a masterful gap between Tony and Wayne Sanderson.
Sure. It's, yeah, over 30 seconds, 32 or 3 seconds.
Yeah, Marco has been half a second, 0.3 of a second quicker over Tony for the past, probably since the last pit stop. Don't know whether Marco is just driving the wheels off of it to try and get that gap, and then maybe towards the back end of the stint, if Tony saved a bit of tyres, it'll come back to him.
Well, he picked up a little bit that time.
Only picked up 0.4 that time, so let's see if things start to swing round the other way now.
Could be, could be. We still have what? How much? 45 minutes left or so? 50 minutes? How much time we got left?
Yeah, about 40 minutes.
Okay, all right. So maybe, you know, Tony may not be wanting to show his hand yet, but of course, I would think he'd want to be a little closer than he is, but maybe he doesn't want to burn the car up either.
Yeah, and he might have a different pit strategy for the end of the race.
That's true.
It's a bit of an unknown at the moment.
Definitely, yep.
Yeah, and Greg's getting back onto the rear end of Jamie.
He is, yeah. Hopefully, well, I say hopefully, he would hope he's not going to make the same mistake again and go charging in too heavily.
Jamie Wilson, If he's not
Sorry.
fighting with somebody, he's fighting with somebody else. It's amazing. He's always busy.
He's solidly in the action. We were talking about a 4-car battle right at the very beginning of this race, and he was in it.
Yep.
And he's. I mean, if he's got sponsors that are paying him money, he's certainly earning his keep.
He
Because
sure
his car's pretty much been on camera all race.
For sure.
This is the same situation again. He's in the tow coming down Conrad. He's a bit wobbly going into the the chase there, and much more conservative going.
Yeah.
What's that corner called? I don't even remember what that one was.
Wait a minute, I'll tell you. I'll look at my handy dandy chart here. That just says it's the chase, so
Okay.
part of the chase, I guess.
Yeah. These two do seem to be fairly evenly matched, though.
Yeah.
They're trading blow for blow at the moment in terms of time. Climbing up the hill now. So tyres go light when they go around that right-hander.
Been watching Jamie Jeffrey, and considering this young man didn't drive.
Hang on.
Marco Namella losing it.
Yeah, sorry, Bill.
Turn.
Uh-oh, no, wait.
Yep, I'm afraid so. He's back running again, but Tony's on him now.
Yeah, I didn't quite see the start of that. I don't know if he lost it on the way in or the way out.
I would think Tony must be drool coming out of his mouth right now.
He lost it on the way in.
Yeah. Just carrying too much speed for that corner, I think. But like you were saying, he was pushing. Ooh, bit wobbly there from Greg Carr as well.
Cheers, whoever's clinking glasses.
Yeah, that's me. Shame it's only water though.
Well, you're creative. Turn it into wine.
Yeah, so that 7.5 second lead that Marco had is now a 2.5. So, as we've said from the first minute of this race, it's not over until the fat lady sings.
Strange things happen.
Yeah, and Woodward with an off track as well, so I don't know what he's done. As if by magic, here we go. Ah, that's all right. He just run a little bit wide there. No harm, no foul.
As I was saying before, I was watching Jamie Jeffrey, and though he's a lap down, considering this young man hadn't driven this car a few weeks back, he's really doing a magnificent job. He's really driving well.
Yeah, he certainly is.
And Marco's in the pits.
Oh, baby.
That must be for tyres. He's spun them and put too much heat in them, and they've lost their effectiveness now.
Yeah, and we're at that stage of the race where you can pit and get to the end, so he's not really losing anything by doing this. And actually, he'll probably get a bit of an undercut on Tony as well. It wouldn't surprise me to see Tony come straight in on the next lap.
Yeah, I bet Tony's pushing right now in this lap.
I think the good thing about what happened to Marco is he didn't hit anything. He kind of just spun it on the spot, didn't he? So it's only a tyre-based issue. If he's got any issue at all, he's out of the pits now.
Yeah, his car looks clean.
Yeah, I think where he spun there into that last turn, it's one of the few places around this track we can get away with having a spin and not crashing into something.
Yeah, really.
Greg Carr and Jamie Wilson. Greg seems to be able to get up to the back of Jamie, but he doesn't seem to be able to do anything about it once he's there.
No, it's a strange situation. He had a wobble when he got out of a turn not too long ago when he was behind him, and he was ready to make better benefits out of the position he was in, and I think he just put too much into the loud pedal and ended up turning the car a little and spun up the tyre.
Sounds reasonable, yeah. I believe you. Okay, Tony's coming through Murray's. He did not stop. He's continuing.
So the other tactic that Tony could employ here is running the tank dry and doing a shorter pit stop than Marco.
We'll have to see how much distance there is. They're showing him in first place. I don't know where Marco is at the moment.
Do you have anywhere, Clyde, that shows the full pit stop time?
I don't know. I'll click some buttons.
Because at the minute he's got a 41-second lead.
Okay, it
On the
shows,
timing tower setting, guys, you have the pit lane time and pit time. I will show on screen for the viewers. And
Excellent.
yeah.
Okay, I'm showing Marco Numella behind by 41.3 seconds.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, so Marco's total pit time was 1 minute dead, 0.1.
So if he's 41 seconds behind and Tony does a short stop, then your logic would be good, right?
I'd never actually admit to my logic being good because it tends to come back and bite me at some point.
Marco almost lost it going up the hill that time. He was sideways. He's fighting really hard to catch back up again.
There might be a bit of frustration in that.
Could be.
He might have thought that was a needless error the first time, and now I need to, compensate or overcompensate and get as much time on these tyres right now as I can, so that if Tony does pit, or when Tony pit, he's lost any advantage he had.
Yeah, it's very easy to get angry with yourself, isn't it, after a mistake?
Oh, yeah.
Tony in the pits now.
Tony's got damage. He's
Left side?
obviously... I can't tell now, he's behind a pit wall. Left-hand side, rear. That smells of a forest elbow too close to the inside.
That's Tony coming in, too. He's in the pits.
Yeah. I think there's dual purpose to this. We'll have to watch where Marco Nemela is on track.
Greg Carr peels into pit lane.
Marco's
Trying
coming
to
down
get the undercut over Jamie Wilson. Marco is around the final bend.
He looks so smooth going through
Marco's on the front
that.
straightaway.
Tony's still in the pit lane.
Marco's going to get by him. He's coming into hell corner.
Tony's car's still up on jacks at the moment.
There he goes. He's going down. He's going up the mountain straight now. Wow, he made some time on that lap. Holy Maloney.
He certainly did.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a
204.9.
204.9.
Jeez.
Tony's still in the pit lane. I don't know
I
whether
think
he's
he's
getting
having
damage ahead.
I think he must be. I mean, it was reasonable amount of damage on the left-hand side of his car. That's more than just fuel and tyre.
Can you pick that up anywhere, Sam?
Well, he did have sheet metal damage, but I'm not sure about the back.
Yeah, I've got nothing showing that Tony's had a crash. But yeah, he's a long way behind now.
Marco's heading down Skyline right now. Through the dipper.
So we had Wayne Sanderson in third place. Wayne Sanderson is in third place. So Tony's actually come out behind Greg Carr and Wayne Sanderson with a 1 minute 44 pit stop.
Yeah, it has to be damaged, doesn't it? And Greg Carr, who's in front of it, recently pitted to try and get the undercut on Jamie Wilson.
Yeah, so out of our front runners, only Jamie Wilson left to pit.
Yes. And he's in pit lane now. So the current race leader is in pit lane. Maybe a temporary race leader, but he's race leader nonetheless.
So Marco Namela goes back to the top.
Yep, he's through Hell Corner onto Mountain Straight. Yeah, Sam just put a note down. Maybe Tony had a penalty, pit road penalty or something. Could be.
It's possible. Wayne was a bit tail happy coming out of the last corner, just gathered it together for the first corner of the next lap, of course, which is good.
Yeah,
Jamie's back on track.
Chris Jackson has just confirmed that was a pit lane speeding penalty for Mr. Kloosterman. Naughty boy.
And as we predicted, Greg Carr has undercut Jamie Wilson. Jamie Wilson has come out of the pits behind him.
Yeah, this could be a really good battle. Wayne Sanderson, Greg Carr, Jamie Wilson and Tony Kloosterman maybe.
Yeah, Jamie Wilson took a very strange line through the tight left-hander just before all this lot. So I think he's lost a bit of ground on new tyres. Probably didn't expect them to slide that much. Kept out of the wall though, so happy days.
Something that Pete has never said. It's just the gift that keeps on giving.
Greg Carr is really after Wayne Sanderson.
Yeah, he's really giving it some at the moment. He's got a hell of a run there.
Sure does. He's looking. Wayne's making his car like really wide too.
Wayne's going to have to go defensive here.
Yep.
Looks inside.
Popped out. There's a lot of wobble,
baby.
wiggling and wobbling going on. Wayne's got the preferred line.
Boy, excellent Wayne Sanderson. That was a great.
Yeah, I think Greg
Great
would have been
defense.
better off staying where he was.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
then trying to throw it down the inside.
He's got the same situation going on here now.
But again, these two will be slowing each other down, which is hopefully going to bring Jamie. I think Tony is homing in onto the back of Jamie Wilson at the moment.
It'll be a very determined Tony Kloosterman inside that car at the moment.
Yeah, he's had one of them races, hasn't he, tonight?
Yeah. I have them. More than I should.
What's the worst part is I have mine. I don't even run anywhere near the front, so that's even worse.
Good line through there by Greg.
Wow, Wayne Sanderson was close to that wall. Oh.
Yeah, Wayne goes defensive there at the end of Comrod, which keeps Greg behind him, but Greg's got a hell of a run again, but there's not really much he can do with it. He's going to try and go around the outside, but Greg.
Oh, and he's... that's the wrong way to fade.
Yeah, but luckily he didn't get collected.
Now he's stuck. Caught in the fence. Nope, there you go. He's out. Okay. Oh boy, I lost a lot of time there. Too bad.
Yeah, that's a huge amount of time to lose. And now here comes Nikolai.
Nikolai goes, ooh.
Yeah.
Got somebody in front of me now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Murray's corner sucker where he just spun.
Yeah, 20 minutes to go. Kloosterman chasing Wilson, chasing Sanderson.
And Marco's got almost a 40-second lead. Wow.
Yeah, Marco's checked out now.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
He's admiring the scenery as he's going around it.
Yeah. Yep. Tony Kloosterman's trying to track down Jamie Wilson at the moment.
Yeah, and he's not far off him. Only just over a second behind, or 1.3 seconds behind. He'll start to get the toe down Conrod straight and up the hill on mounting.
Tony can't be a happy camper after his pit road penalty there.
No, he's still got the left hand side damage on my.
Yeah, well, I see sheet metal damage on the left side. I'm not sure what you're looking at.
No, that's what I'm describing.
He's scuffed up, isn't he? But I don't think that's affected his pace.
He's had that for a while, Pete.
Right, okay.
And he's also got damage on the right side, right in front of the rear wheel. On the driver's side in the rear. Right in front of the rear wheel, it's all crushed in too, but he's motoring along.
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
So, we've got a shout out, guys, to Logan Jackson, who is cheering on his favourite driver, Lightning McQueen, aka Greg Carr. So, hello, Logan, and thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, Logan. Hello, mate.
Hey, Logan. Keep watching.
Yeah, Lightning McQueen's doing terrific.
Another couple of years, Logan, and you'll be faster than your dad.
No, that shouldn't be difficult.
So I'll run through the running order of all the cars still going. Marco Namela is your race leader by a gargantuan margin, really. 39 seconds. Wayne Sanderson is that person, 39 seconds back down the road. He's in front of Jamie Wilson in third, not by a great deal, and that's reduced slightly each time they go around again. So Tony Klosterman is now got the tractor beam out on the back of Jamie Wilson's car, and he's closing very quickly now. I might have to stop talking if anybody wants to talk over me if it takes to take a minute. Greg Carr is in 5th, Nikolai Bogotyrev is in 6th, Jamie Jeffrey in 7th, 8th is Ant Woodward, 9th is Andrew Hoffman, and Andrew Packer rounds out the top 10, and we have 10 cars still running.
Yeah, Tony has really closed in on the back of Jamie, and Jamie is still chasing Wayne for that second spot. So we've still got over 15 minutes left, people. So this could get very interesting.
It could. I think it took a couple of laps for Tony's tyres to come to temperature so he could do these more fighting laps after he'd served his penalty, and I think he's got it now.
Yeah, Tony's currently doing the fastest lap times at the top 5, so we'll see if it, again, you know, we've said before, one thing catching somebody and another thing passing them, especially around here. Jamie Wilson is no mug. He will know exactly where to put his car, although he's very, very wild at the moment.
He is, and he's very close to the walls, but you could determine that that's accuracy. If I was anybody worrying right now, I think it'd be Wayne Sanderson. He's got the most to lose.
Yep, for sure.
He knows Tony Klosterman's fast. He knows Jamie Wilson's been fighting with him for most of the race, and what he's capable of. He's probably hoping, to be fair, that Tony catches him before Jamie catches Wayne.
Right.
Yeah, I think that can be the saving grace, can't it, for Wayne?
That's right.
Once Tony starts putting moves onto Jamie, that could slow them both down and allow Wayne to disappear up the road a little bit. Whether that's enough of a disappearance up the road to hold whichever one wins the battle of Klosterman and Wilson, we'll have to wait and see.
Tony's he's shown his nose there, didn't he? Gave him a bit of a glimpse, but then tucked back in order to get the optimal line through that ape. Well, the cars are now covered in flies, and he's stepping out again to show his nose. And they both caught Wayne very quickly.
Yes, they did. They're right on him. Wow.
Have they caught him napping, or have they just been gunning it? Let's have a look at their last lap times.
Wayne, it's the pedal on the left, buddy.
Yeah, Wayne had a very, very slow lap there, over a second slower than Jamie and Tony.
Right, well that explains that. Doesn't explain why, but it explains the situation we're staring at now. So, an hour and 3/4 in, and we've got this, guys, for second, third and fourth.
Look about formation flying. Look at that. They're right together. Wow.
No, Jamie's basically pushing Wayne up the hill.
Jamie's
hardly
in
anything.
a really, really tricky position, isn't he, where he wants to attack Wayne, but he knows the minute he attacks Wayne, it goes offline to try and pull a move. Tony's going to attack him, and he could end up losing the position rather than gaining the position.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you consider who it is that is behind Jamie, it gets a bit more worrying, doesn't it?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think Conrad might be interested in this lap.
Here we go.
Right.
Who's your money on, guys?
Well, it was a great line
Whoa,
from
man.
Jamie, but then he got a little bit loose on the way out.
A little bit. God.
There's a car up ahead as well, which obviously isn't going to be Marco Gamella, so it must be a back.
I think it's Ant Woodward.
Ant Woodward, yeah.
Yeah, Wayne goes.
Here we go. But he's going to
Oh,
lose
he's
it.
locked it up.
Wayne's
Well,
off
you
the
were
road.
right, Clyde. It's tasty. Let's have a look at what Tony's going to do to Jamie now.
Jamie's on that
Yeah,
inside.
he's blocked him there.
And sometimes what you have to do when you do that is you sort of park your car on the apex and stop the momentum from
Here
the
comes
car
Tony.
behind.
Look at
But
Tony's
Tony's got
gonna
this
get him.
time.
Yeah,
He's got him. Nice pass.
clean.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, I think Wayne, in getting a defensive line, got on the dirty side of the track where he had no grip to brake.
Look at Jamie coming back.
Yeah, he's going to find that difficult.
Yeah, but he's not afraid, boy. I'll
He's
tell
got
you,
his
he's a
nose up
charger.
there, but he's just on the wrong side of the track.
a
Yeah, but he's now on the marbles as well, which is never
Wow.
good. What a
That
catch!
was, yeah, that was a hell of a save.
That was masterful.
Oh, my
that wasn't it?
goodness. That was amazing.
He's bent up his. He did touch though. He's got damage damage on the rear now.
Yes, he
Yeah,
did.
and that's going to get Wayne interested.
Yeah. Yep.
I was about ready to write him off. That was amazing. Wow.
There we go in the in-car. Yep. It was the touch on the wall that kept him on the track. How ironic.
Very similar to the Tony Klusterman incident on lap 1.
Yeah,
that's right.
Apart from he didn't go all the way round because the wall saved him.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Brilliant bit of driving there.
So what has Wayne Sanderson got for Jamie Wilson?
Probably 9 minutes of irritation, because that's about what we've got left, I think.
Yeah, I'm half expecting Tony to
Wayne's
disappear
looking
up the
inside.
road.
Yep.
Yeah, defensive from Jamie.
Oh,
He's
that's
on
a
the
tough place
he's on the
to be,
slippy
Wayne.
bit though. Where's Wayne gone? No, Wayne's had to drop back.
Yeah, Wayne's lost a hell of a lot of time
Yeah,
there.
he was way outside going into.
Yeah, he was in
the
two
chase
hops
there.
as well. Yeah. I mean, he's the. I hate to say it, he's the biggest loser here, isn't he? He won both of the two cars in front of him not to go.
Yeah.
So I can tell you guys that the Jackson household is glued to this at the moment. I've just been sent a picture. I can see Mary and I can see Logan. I have no idea where Chris is, and there's also a dog in the picture. I don't know what the dog's name is. It's probably good that I don't, because we can start calling the dog and winding it up.
Getting it to sit down and chase after people and stuff.
Fetch Chris.
Yeah. So, Marco Namela, a country mile ahead now, 42 seconds. He's pulled out extra time with fighting with the guys behind him. With Tony fighting with the guys behind him, rather.
It's an absolute dominating performance.
He has got damage on the left-hand side of that car, though. Did he have that
Yep.
before?
I'm not sure. It was relatively clean, as far as I know.
Yeah.
Could
Again,
it have
it's
happened when he
cosmetic.
spun that time?
I don't remember him hitting anything.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
And just while we're on shout out, guys, I just want to do a little experiment. So just bear with me for a second. Alexa, set alarm for 2:30 a.m. Let's just see who's up at 2:30 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah. So the pooch's name is Zoe. So off you go, Clyde. See what you can get Zoe to do.
Zoe!
fetch Chris.
Zoe, poop on the carpet.
Oh, no, don't do that. Jamie Wilson is driving with reckless abandon. He is sideways and all over the place. What a great performance. God, he's doing
Oh dear. Marco Namela just made contact with the wall. It wasn't massive, but it was enough to create a good amount of spark.
Yeah, Wayne's certainly not given up on Jamie, that's for definite. And these two have been together from minute one.
Yeah. Yeah, and in many races as well. They do tend to be on the same bit of tarmac, like Bill was saying it.
Yeah, it seems like they're always together. I noticed what you're talking about, Pete. It's on his driver's left side. Yep.
Yeah. On Marco's car, yeah.
Correct. Yes, that's right.
Yeah. I mean, these two are going at it, aren't they? Jamie and Wayne.
Well, there's Bubbly on the line.
Yeah, that's true.
As expected, Klusterman's checked out from these two,
Oh,
but
yeah.
you know, this is all to play for.
Was the podium right here, and at the minute, Jamie's got it.
Yep, you know, 1
Wayne
hour
had it.
53 in.
Fascinating how it ends up like this, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And these guys are just so good at driving this car, it's incredible.
Andrew Packer's had a crash.
Oh, lights flashing from Wayne.
Oh, here goes the move, here goes the move.
Oh, this is going to be the great or not great.
Yeah, that's the trouble there. Because obviously the fastest way round that corner is to take the wide line. So as soon as you throw it down the inside, you're basically giving up the good line.
Don't do it, Wayne.
Yeah, and you're going to have to block pass at that point, aren't you? You're going to have to park your car basically right in the driving line of your opponent.
Yeah, not that I make many overtakes around here, but the ones that I have done in that section of the track, I found it easier to basically push the car in front round the corner and then just try and out-brake down the left-hand side.
Yep.
Yeah. Decent save by Andrew Packer just then on his tiny little off track.
Well, I would dare to say that it hasn't been a boring race for Jamie Wilson or Wayne Sanderson.
Oh, there was a touch on the wall there, I think, from Wayne.
Yeah, I heard that. Oh, Jamie does get very close to the inside wall there.
Man, he just throws that thing in sideways. Wow.
That's wild abandon from Jamie.
No doubt. No doubt.
But controlled, I mean, he's
Yep.
he's pulling away.
Yeah, I think Wayne's got the better setup for this twisty section. Because it doesn't seem to matter how far Jamie pulls away, Wayne always closes in on him.
Yeah, he's a bit distant this time, isn't he?
Yeah, he certainly
he's gonna
has.
have to do.
Yeah, he's not going to do anything on this lap, definitely. He's still going to get a tow, but it's going to be too little too late.
Yeah, showing his nose, but that's just for show, really. He's going to have to gather it together and compose himself and get right on his boot lid and make a real opportunity out of probably that same situation next time round.
Yeah, and you can see the damage on the back of Jamie's car from when the wall saved him at turn 2.
Yes, you can.
Yep. And there is a bend in his rear spoiler, or whatever you want to call that. And that might be having an effect, but it doesn't look like it's very much, does it?
Oh, he's got to run here, he's got to run here, and he's putting it down the
baby.
inside. That's Jamie out on the naughty stuff.
Wow.
Again, same corner he had bother with the last time.
Holy mackerel.
They're still side by side. Wayne's going to have to give it up there. Well done, gents.
Oh my goodness, Jamie Wilson. Wow.
I had to clench everything just then.
That's not a pretty sight.
Oh, bit of a slight off track from Greg.
Just wondering whether Wayne just got a phenomenal run out of that corner, or whether that little bit of damage that Jamie's got is affecting him top end.
Yeah, well, I was mentioning that his rear spoiler's twisted or bent, or there's a kink in. That might have an effect, and especially on the
It could.
uphill.
It could.
But he didn't quite get it done there.
His rear body panel's all kind of creased in too. Must be from the wall also.
Oh yeah, definitely.
On the driver's left.
So again, no pass on that lap from Wayne. He chose a different opportunity this time. Chose the beginning of the lap. He's very close again here. Tries to do a feint. Oh, that's the...
Locked up.
That was an epic attempt. He's lost a lot of ground though now, hasn't he? Look.
Yes,
Yeah. Again, you know, I know hindsight is a wonderful thing, but he would have been better off saving it for now, where he got that run last.
Yeah.
Sure.
And we are closing in on the end of this race now.
Yeah, it's got to be really close.
Yeah, there's not going to be too many more opportunities for Wayne to have a go.
I think there's probably this lap and one more. Would you say?
Yeah, I would have thought so.
Depending on where Marco is, really, isn't it?
Correct.
And Marco's on the top.
Different postcode.
So he's on Conrad. So he'll cross the line. We might get another couple of full laps out of this.
Might get two more, yeah.
He's going to cross the line with a minute to go, so...
Sorry, the ghost of Christmas past
okay.
just said something. What was it, Sam? One lap to go after this.
Okay.
So yeah, he's going to pick up the white flag.
Marco's coming in the pits.
Marco's going in the pit.
What the heck's he doing? Must be out of fuel or something.
Oh, you gotta be kidding.
He's on pit road right now.
Oh, what are you doing, Marco? You must be right, Bill. That can only be fuel. So, oh, this is just bizarre.
Wow. Boy, what a turn of events. Holy mackerel.
Tony Boosterman sabotaged his fuel.
There he goes. He's taking off again.
He's away. It was a splash and dash.
It was a splash and dash.
Wow.
In fairness to Marco, if it was looking a bit squeaky bum on the fuel, he had enough gap to do that splash and dash. He's still 15 seconds in front.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was well calculated as a recovery plan.
Would have made me nervous, I'll tell you. Wow.
Yeah, but much better than running out and Tony coming
for sure.
over the line.
For sure.
Wayne's a little far back from this.
Wow.
Did he take the white flag, Sam? Right. So these two are now closing in on, I'm guessing, Ant Woodward, who is about Marco, and they are going to catch him before the end of this lap. That's going to create another situation, because don't forget, this is third position that we're fighting for here, that Jamie's currently got, and Wayne very much clearly wants. And Ant's got well out of the way.
Very nicely.
Yeah.
Let him through.
Good driving, Ant.
Yep.
But he's now on his boot lid, like, well and truly.
Yeah, this is where Wayne is strong.
Yeah,
Sure
you were
is.
saying that before, yeah.
Whoa,
Wayne, what are you doing, mate?
Wow. I think a little fast on the go pedal that time.
Yeah, he was keen to get on it. Maybe a little... So, go on, Clyde.
He's not going to go for it here. He's too far away.
So,
I think
Marco
you've
and
got
Namela.
one last chance into the last corner.
So Marco and Namela crosses the line in first place.
Good for you, Marco.
And
Congratulations.
takes the victory. Tony Clusum and Jamie Wilson with lights flashing in his rearview mirror from Wayne. Sanderson takes third, and Wayne takes.
Wayne should be in fourth.
Greg Carr crosses the line in fifth with some the side of that car. And some way back now, I think. Nikolai Bogatyrov will cross the line.
There he goes. He's across the line. There he is.
In sixth.
Yep.
And then laps down, Ant Woodward in seventh, Jamie Jeffrey in eighth, Andrew Hoffman doing all sorts of acrobatics, literally acrobatics. Never seen a car do that many rolls before. That's quite impressive, Andrew. Did he do the jump at the end of the I bet he did. He finishes in ninth, and Andrew Packer in 10th. Here's the yep, he's done the jump. I've seen him do that, land on his wheels and just carry on driving.
Yeah.
Manage it at that time. He's tried to reshape the car, and successfully so. Well done, Andrew.
So, guys, yet again, small field, epic racing.
Very much
Absolutely.
so. That was brilliant, wasn't it?
It really was.
I've never seen one car get so much airtime. Jamie Wilson was pretty much in the camera shot for most of the race.
Yeah, and obviously our race winner, Marco Nemela, the result will show it was quite a convincing win, but on paper it was, but in reality it wasn't. Tony Kloosterman had a mixed bag of a race with a few mistakes and his pit lane speeding penalty, and then it was mainly the Wilson-Sanderson show.
Really?
Absolutely. Well, we've got a couple of people waiting for us to interview them.
Okay, well, who would you like first?
Go on, Bill, you choose.
No, you guys go ahead.
I'll drag Marco in for you. Let's get the race winner.
Bring the race winner, yeah.
Marco, welcome to the booth.
Thanks.
Congratulations. Dominating show today for you, Marco.
That was a little bit funny. I ran out of fuel.
Yeah, I almost had a heart attack when I saw you pulling in the pit lane in the last lap. I thought, I hope the heck he knows it's only the white flag lap. Wow, that was incredible. Well, you had enough of a gap that you could keep going, and you did a hell of a job today. You pretty much drove clean all day. You had a little bit of damage on your car, but I think we only saw you spin once, and did a great job, man.
Yeah, that spin was actually, I figured out how much fuel I need, and I was still wrong. I missed the brake marker because I figured out how much fuel I need.
Well, fortunately you spun in a spot where you didn't crash into a wall or anything. That was good.
Yeah, I have missed my brake marker there quite a lot, so I knew what to do.
Well, I'll tell you, you were driving with reckless abandon today. You were really going quick. It was totally amazing. You did a great job today.
Thanks.
You were driving at full pace. It looked like the whole race. What were you thinking when you had like a 40-second gap?
No, actually, I drove the first stint full pace. After that, I started trying to figure out how much fuel I need, and I was like
Right.
losing time left and right.
Right. Okay. Well, you did a fantastic job today, Marco. You must be very happy with a race. Is there anyone, like sponsors or anyone that you wish to thank and give a shout out to?
Richard, he helped with the setup and with the practice, and of course my team, Racecraft Esports.
Okay. You got any questions for Marco Klein?
No, just congratulations, Marco. That was hell of a drive. You gave us some serious ups and downs in that race, but in the end, everything came good, and you got some big points in the bag. So well done, mate.
Thank you, and thank you guys for streaming and do this.
You betcha. Take care, man.
Welcome to the booth, Tony Kloosterman.
Did I make it interesting enough for you?
Wow, Tony.
A little bit. So,
I figured
don't
it
know
was
what-
a small field. In a small field, I give you something to talk about.
yeah. You're giving everyone a chance on turn 2, weren't you, Tony?
Yeah.
Is that just cold tyres and couldn't hear the tyres or something like that?
Yeah, cold tires. I was trying to give Marco a lot of room there. We were pretty much side by side, so I didn't want anything to happen in turn 1 where we would have contact or anything, and I just got out. Marco's there, whatever it is. And back end just gently came around. So, anyways.
Yeah, it looked like a slow motion one.
Yeah.
And then you caught a lot of people very, very quickly. You got involved in one of the longest standing battles of the race, which was Jamie Wilson and Wayne Sanderson, and navigated both of them in short order as they were busy fighting each. What was your take on the race as a whole from your own perspective?
I just made too many mistakes. 40-second pit lane speeding penalty put paid to everything. I thought I might have a chance at Marco at the end there, and as it turns out, he was short on fuel, so I threw that one away. So it's all on me today.
Yeah, we thought at first that you were getting damage repaired because you were in there for quite a while, and it was only when Chris got onto the chat and said that you'd been served a penalty for speeding, because Chris did one of the most impressive pit lane entry I've ever seen in order to get ahead of, I think it was Jamie Wilson, if memory serves me right. It was epic, and then we saw him have an accident going into pit lane on his next attempt, which is a shame really, because he was doing a fantastic job. But you were gapping a lot of the field. Have you got anyone you'd like to have a shout out to, or thanks, or anything like?
Yeah, our team's mobility, Never Quit Racing, and Racetech for being the primary sponsor of our main league. You guys for doing the broadcast. It's always enjoyable to watch afterwards. So thanks a lot, guys.
Anything for Tony?
No, well done, mate. Like you say, you made too many mistakes, but ultimately it was a very good recovery drive.
Thanks, Tom.
Sorry, couldn't kick Tony then, so he just didn't want to go. He was clinging on. So yeah, just a race recap, guys. From what I saw, we had some fantastic battles in a small field, but these guys never fail to amaze. It doesn't matter who's on track. There's battles. There's awesome driving. There's dodgy pit stops, shall we say, Mr. Jackson. And yeah, 2-hour race seems to be over in 10 minutes for me.
It's gone very quickly, and there's been a few standout moments for me. Marco's absolute dominant, very impressive. Chris Jackson's first pit stop, I'll just point out, it was the first one, where he used the entry as a method by which to overtake someone. Brilliant, really. We won't mention the second one. And the constancy of the Jamie Wilson, Wayne Sanderson. There we go. We're seeing it on screen now. We're seeing the bad one on screen now. Sorry about that, Chris. And the constancy of the Jamie Wilson, Wayne Sanderson battle that raged all the way through the race in one form or another, switching around with pit stops, switching around with pit strategy, switching around again with faster drivers coming past them. Just fascinating.
Yeah, these guys certainly know how to put on a show, don't they, Bill? It's the track is fantastic for a start, but these guys know how to drive.
Totally agree, Clyde. And Mount Panorama is absolutely my favorite track, and I think it's one of the best tracks in the world, to be perfectly honest with you, as far as a road course goes. And shout out to a lot of the guys that didn't get mentioned too much today, but it was the Jamie Wilson, Wayne Sanderson show today. It was just incredible how those guys went back and forth all day long. It was just, I'm sure they got to be tired. They weren't bored today, I'll tell you. And I felt especially, not sorry, but was wishing that just some of the other guys that got a lap down because of stuff could have done a little better, because after they got going, they kept pace pretty well. But Clyde's absolutely right. I don't care who's here. It's who shows up for these races. They're really fantastic. It's so much fun to cover them, and I'm so happy to be able to do this. It's a blast, let me tell you. And kudos to all you guys, really.
Yeah, well summed up, Bill. So we'll close now. Let you good folk go to bed or do whatever you're going to do now. We will be back on Friday, I believe, with the official iRacing V8 Supercars from Road Atlanta. So thanks to Racetech for sponsoring the series. Thanks to Bill and Pete for being in the booth with me, and Sam for running everything in the background. Just leaves me to say good night, everybody, and good night, gentlemen.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody, and thank you to Backfire Simsport TV. See you later, guys.
Woo!